Hello, class. I would normally prefer to do this one-on-one, but as you know, everybody is forced to do it online. So, welcome to my class. This course is the Directing for Feature Level 300, and I'm going to run you through what we'll be doing in the process. So, directing feature Naft305 week 1. And for this week, we are doing the director emerges. But before then, I want to do a quick take you through the program for the whole semester, for the 8 weeks that we'll be doing this online. So it is a comprehensive theoretical and practical approach to the director's role at the production stage. The course begins with a study of the basic relationships between actor, text, and director, then expands to include staging, rehearsal techniques, and effective critiquing skills. Emphasis is on the development of directors' breakdown, beat analysis, rehearsal techniques, and casting. The objectives. The student should be able to transform words in a script to visuals and sound on the screen using appropriate shooting techniques. By the end of the semester, students should be able to coordinate the dance between the actor and the camera and also apply effectively the elements that go into a shot. They should also be able to analyze and interpret a script and visualize the elements that will help bring out each shot to fit into scenes and sequences. So this is the course outline. In week 1, we'll discuss the emergence of the film director, after which there will be some assignments. The assignments are all, for every week, are listed under the topics, for most of the topics. In the second week, we'll be doing textual analysis, interpretation, and beats. In the third week, we'll do staging the actor. In the fourth week, we'll do staging the camera. In the fifth week, shooting interviews and dialogue scenes. In the sixth week, we'll do film punctuation and visual thinking. And then in the seventh week, we do elements of entertainment. And then in the eighth week, we'll do a revision of all the basic things we need to do for directing from shots to the 180-degree rule. Then in weeks 9 and 10, we'll do the practical workshop. So now, directing. What or who is a film director? A film director is responsible for overseeing every creative aspect of a film. They develop a vision for the film, decide how it should look, what tone it should have, and what an audience should gain from the cinematic experience that they go through. The director, in short, is a storyteller. The director emerges. A film or TV production would be impossible without a director. A set would instantly degenerate into chaos without an authority figure to provide a leadership structure. Chaos used to be the case until the director emerged towards the end of the 19th century. This ushered in a new and original theatrical epoch. His experiences, his experiments, his failures, and his triumphs set and sustained the stage. In the brief century of their existence, directors have dominated the shaping or reshaping of four major entertainment forms: the stage, motion picture, radio, television, and now multimedia. Great director innovators like Konstantin Stanislavski, Adolf Appia, and Max Reinhardt tried to give shape and point of view to the theater by integrating play, production, and spectators. They took over functions that previously had belonged to playwrights and actors. So these three guys, among others, Konstantin Stanislavski, Appia, and Reinhardt, Stanislavski and Reinhardt were film directors and stage directors as well. But Adolf Appia was more of an art director. And he tried to tell stories with the stage, the set, and then lighting. So these guys became more or less directors, bringing sanity onto the stage. In those days, actors used to compete for attention. Everybody did what they liked, and the viewers or audience would sit back and their eyes would be jumping from one person to the other, not knowing exactly where to focus. So early motion picture directors, unsure of their new medium, borrowed theatrical techniques. The stationary camera watched proceedings from an audience position, as if through a proscenium arch. Actors moved laterally across a stage at a distance. Their gestures and makeup were exaggerated, as if for the benefit of spectators at the rear of the house. So when film came, or motion picture came, because people were not so used to it, directors were not so used to it, what they did was to copy what stage directors used to do, and because of that, they just kept the camera in the position of the audience so that it would be watching the stage, just like spectators. And things looked exaggerated at that time because, for stage, you needed to overact in order to be able to reach the people in the background. Costume and makeup were all exaggerated so that people in the background could see clearly. So these people found it difficult to direct. Then innovative directors soon broke out of the mold, experimenting, defining new forms, and creating cinematic language. Edwin Porter, D.W. Griffiths, Sergei Eisenstein, and others moved the camera closer, higher, lower, panning and tilting, dollying and tracking, making it participate in dramatic action rather than a spectator. They established the motion picture as an art form in its own right, evoking mood through lighting, creating new dimensions and character and plot, and evolving editing techniques still in use today. In the 1920s, the introduction of sound fascinated and perplexed the new generation of directors because they were not used to talkies. They were used to silent films. Meanwhile, radio directors discovered the technique of creating pictures in the listener's mind solely through the use of sound. Silent film directors, unused to the actors who actually spoke words, stepped aside for stage directors, since the latter were acknowledged experts with the spoken word. Stage directors tried their hand briefly at film, but failed because they lacked experience in cinematic techniques. They did not understand the raw power of the visual image and returned audiences to the lukewarm custard of proscenium arch cinema. That is like stage, with the camera at one place and just watching the people chat. Stage-trained directors gave way quickly to a dynamic new breed of directors, Ernst Lubitsch, Alfred Hitchcock, and Rubin Mamoulin, and others, who were able to combine sound and image effectively, each now enriching the other, creating new cinematic dimensions. When TV emerged in the late 1940s, its directors borrowed techniques from motion pictures. Since live TV directors developed a fluidity of movement in their shots, tracking actors as they move about a set, gliding from 2 shots to close-ups into 3 shots. They preferred moving cameras to actors or actors to camera rather than frequent cutting from angle to angle. When many of those TV directors later made transitions to film, they carried those techniques with them, further enriching the medium. So you realize that stage helped film, TV also helped film, and film also helped TV. So all the forms helped each other. So now, what are the director's responsibilities? Film directors are usually involved in the writing, financing, hiring of key crew members and cast for the project. They are responsible for approving every camera angle, lens effect, lighting, and set design. They coordinate the moves of the actors and camera on set. The director also plays a key role in post-production. He works with the editor to ensure that the emotions of the scene in the close-ups and mid-shots and wide shots appropriately reflect which character is driving the narrative. The director also advises on the color grading of final images, adding warmth and frigidity to the composition of the shots to reflect the emotional subtext of the character or environment. They also participate in the sound mix and musical composition of the film. A director becomes many things to many people: parent, priest, psychiatrist, friend, writer, actor, photographer, costumer, electronic wizard, musician, graphic artist, etc. Their work embraces 3 worlds: the artistic, the technical, and therefore we can define directors as artist technicians, and also the parent psychiatry world. As an artist, the script is usually the director's first consideration. Their taste, experience, and sensitivity enable them to recognize the potential it has. The ability to understand script structure, to analyze its progression, to recognize potholes, to build colorful, dimensional characters, and to help create pungent dialogue all define the director as an artist. The script contains the seed of pictures that will take form first in the director's imagination and later on set. As an artist, the director should understand photography as well. The director should have a photographer's understanding of pictorial composition, must know from which vantage point a scene should be shot, whether it should be high, low, past a tree, or tilted horizon. He must have a painter's eye for colors, coordinating sets, costume, photographic tones to create specific emotional responses. Directors must understand the artistry of acting, subtleties in style like method acting, Chekhov's acting, Meisner's acting, and Adler's acting styles that will enrich a story, as well as chemistries between actors and that will add dimensions. Good directors understand performers of all types and talents. Singers, dancers, comedians, mimes, and are able to inspire them to perform their best. Directors should also understand art direction as an artist. The director's artistry should also extend to the designing of sets, since the setting should necessarily reflect the character that inhabits it. The director is better prepared to supply this added dimension in terms of furniture, props, books, paintings, and also costume design, makeup, and hairdressing. The director's artistic functions also include editing, special effects, and graphics for titles and credits. Directors with an understanding of the technical subtleties and current technologies, advances can discuss those subtleties with crew specialists, therefore providing an extra degree of polish to the show. The director's technical expertise functions first at the planning stage in choosing production equipment. So apart from being an artist, a director should also be a technician, because you have to understand the equipment that you are going to use. Such decisions usually discussed at length with crew members and finalized at production meeting include choice of camera and lenses, lighting options, sound equipment, special effects, crew size, crew members, switching needs, etc. A director's technical knowledge must encompass dozens of specialized areas, from microphone characteristics to computer-generated graphic to post-production editing. Now, the director is also, apart from being an artist, a technician, he is also a parent psychiatrist. The parent psychiatrist in any organization requiring the closely integrated services of skilled specialists operating a pressure cooker atmosphere, an authority figure is needed to prevent the cooker from exploding. In film and television, where temperament frequently is part of the artistic equation, and where enormous talent often conceals the most fragile of egos, such an authority figure must be a master of diplomacy. Because skills and personalities are diverse, conflicts arise. Because problems are subjective, they elicit widely divergent solutions, again promoting conflict. Because of the pressures of limited time and money foster insecurity, voices become unsteady, tempers flare, performers quit, and directors consider changing professions. The director controls the divergent elements of a production company, the same way a mother or father raises a family, with discipline and love. Now, what are the characteristics of a good director? Directors must have certain qualities necessary for success. They could include imagination, leadership, showmanship, sensitivity, the ability to organize, etc. Some qualities are inherent, others are acquired. Taste. This is acquired by stimulating oneself through exposure to a variety of entertainment forms, by reading the works of fine authors, listening to fine music, viewing fine art, seeing fine plays and movies. This enriches our imagination and our taste. Exposure to today's most creative talents also keeps our taste current. Every year, styles change imperceptibly in clothing, music, stories, a dozen other areas. Because these changes occur so slowly, we are only dimly aware of them. If we isolate ourselves, they pass us by, and we become old-fashioned in our tastes and behaviors. So basically, we must be abreast of the time, otherwise we'll be left behind. Apart from that taste, the director should have experience in the various arts and crafts. Comes primarily from three sources: study, curiosity, and from experience. So a director might need to study, go to university, film schools, read, know about equipment and books. Then for curiosity, he has to visit sets, visit television stations, talk to crew and cast, getting jobs as assistant, visiting theater groups to watch acting, watching unusual films and TV shows, and also curiosity about new technologies. Then for experience, you need to get as many jobs as possible. Then the director should also have imagination, even to the point of being crazy. Directors don't see things quite the same way the average person sees things. Otherwise, you won't be making any impact on the world if you are just showing the world what everybody else was seeing. A director should have tenacity, being oneself and having one's own mind. You know, once you are convinced that your script or what you are doing is right, no one should put you off. Just go ahead and do it. Then apart from that, a director should educate himself in terms of history, literature, drama, political science, which are requirements for a good director. So why do people want to be directors? Everybody wants to be a director. It is enormously gratifying to the ego, the authority figure to whom everyone looks up for answers. It offers the opportunity to exercise real control over a project, the joy of overcoming the challenges of a project and doing a good job. But that is not to say that as a director, you are supposed to be bossy. You know, you are part of a team. All the crew, the cameraman, the soundman, the technician, everybody there is an expert in his own right. And they are all going to help you to achieve your vision. So although you have been asked or you have been selected to be a leader, it does not make you a boss. You are working in a team, but it is your vision that the whole crew is going to help you to achieve. So thank you.